Hi, I'm Karen.
And I'm Paul. Welcome to the final episode of the Circular Coffee Club podcast. Today we're talking about the future. Trends, technologies, regions, mindsets, what circularity will look like next.
With us today are Sebastian and Gilles.
Hey everyone, Sebastian Wolf here. I'm the VP of Offer Management for Industrial Automation Services and excited to be here in the Circular Coffee Club to talk about our circular topics today.
Hello, I'm Gilles Vermaux-Desroches. I was the Chief Sustainability Officer of Schneider Electric for 25 years, and I'm taking care to citizenship and institution for Schneider Electric, a vision where we embark the two legs on sustainability, environment and the human leg, and we can see that circularity is just the bridge between these two legs with you.
What's one circularity trend you're watching closely?
Yeah, thank you, Pal. I can go first. So one trend I'm watching is how our industrial customers are moving from a more reactive mode in which they fix things only when they fail to really planning circularity much more proactively as part of their uptime strategy. So it's a bit of a subtle shift, but I think it's a quite meaningful one. And when we talk circularity, in our context, we're speaking of repairing, exchanging, refurbish, reuse, or even extending the life of existing assets at our customers' sites. So for quite a while now, we've known that circularity can help companies, even countries, hit their sustainability goals, which is fantastic. But that's always been a bit more of a top-down approach. What we're seeing now is a little bit of a subtle shift where companies are starting to see circularity as a tool for resilience, for reducing their risk. So this is much more of a bottom-up viewpoint that starts from the ground, where it might be somebody in operations who sees the assets in use every day and understands the risks that are associated with them, especially when they're not available. So when it's implemented properly, circularity can really help you bring more stability, more predictability, more performance right into the operations. So as customers look to extend the life of their installed base, minimize its downtime in particular, this life cycle thinking becomes much more a natural part of the whole conversation.
Yes, Sebastian, I fully agree with you. But for me, when we are speaking about circularity, it's not only a question of industry and manner to consume. It's a big difference between the 20th century and the 21st century. And it's like a big reset of the manner to live, the manner to consume. And in terms of ideas, I think circularity is already here. I will explain how I see that. For me, the last century was the century of linearity. For example, electricity. We have some plants to produce electricity, and after that, to transfer, to transform, to transfer again, and you have the final consumer. Very often we are speaking about end user. When we say end user, we see the topic of the linearity. Circularity, the reality of this new century, is something where we don't have end user. We have a complex discussion, dialogue between all the sides, demand side, production side, and in this manner to think the economy as a manner to live, we are all responsible. We are all able in the value chain to have an idea, to contribute to change the manner to consume, to change the manner to think. For me, when we speak about circularity, we speak about an idea which is here for many different topics and that we have in implement in industry. And it's why for me, it's more than the 3R, which are very important, to reduce, to recycle, to reuse, but it's more a manner to think, the manner to live together, because we have to tackle a lot of new challenges.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. It's almost a teamwork approach that we all have to tackle together.
Yes.
Wow, that's really compelling trend. What I find interesting is how it shows a shift from circularity being about isolated actions to becoming part of broader system redesign. Your point suggested that the next phase isn't just incremental, it's structural.
Why that one? What signals point to its importance?
Yeah, thanks, Karen. So, when I look back at the more proactive approach I was discussing, I think it's so important. The reason that makes it so important is the pressure that customers feel right now around their resilience. We know that downtime, and especially unplanned downtime, can be tremendously expensive. I mean, for our industrial customers, you're talking about tens of thousands of euros an hour. It can be up to the hundreds of thousands or even possibly the millions, depending how critical the asset is. But at the same time, our supply chains are more fragile than ever, and many industrial players just can't afford that uncertainty. So we live in a world that's changing very rapidly. We see it in the news all the day. It's increasingly unpredictable. So if we can bring stability to their existing installed base, that really delivers high value for them. So in that context, repairing or extending the life of this equipment becomes a very practical way to protect their operations. It might be faster, it might be more reliable than waiting for something new in a lot of cases. So if we can be more proactive with our customers, it really allows them to reduce their risk profile and possibly also their total cost of ownership. So really what we see an interest from the customers in shifting from this more reactive model to a more proactive one in which they maximize the life cycle, and that value of the life cycle can become part of the value of the contract and the overall relationship with Schneider Electric. That's a big part of it. So we see customers that look for approaches that help them plan and manage their asset over time. And that mindset shift is already a strong sign that circularity is becoming a part of the long-term operational strategy. And we want to be there with them to help them along that journey.
Yes, I agree with that. I think, and it's not the conclusion of what we expressed just before, but I think we are in the bridge between different type of economy, and because we are a leader, we have to go ahead of others. The vision that I have linked to what you express is that even if many of our habits still we are in the 20th century, the idea of circularity is already won. In a circular world, there is no end user. And what you express about the manner for Schneider Electric to be in another dialogue with the clients and customer, it's a manner to understand that. We don't have final step. Our clients is not the final client of the product that we distribute and that they use. We have to think the future and we have to think differently, not at the end, but from the beginning. It's a question of innovation. We will speak about innovation just after. Everyone has a role. Everyone contributes. Everyone shares responsibility. And we know that for our customers, some of them understand that and are very active to ask us, because when we are speaking about circularity comes the topic of decarbonization, another manner to consume, another manner to be in relationship with the others. And we know that for some of our clients, their own clients ask them to be more responsible. You see here, I have something which is the symbol of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals from United Nations. It's a goal for 2030. When we speak about circularity, we are linked to this topic or all the topics that we are here. We know that we are more consumers than in the past. We know that we will face the scarcity of raw materials. We know that we face climate change, biodiversity problem, dilemma in development. Circularity is one of the answers for this topic. It's why we have to shift from the previous manner to sell to the new manner with circularity vision. And this vision is not only something that we have to embark at the end of the process with our customer, but something that we have to put in our process of innovation to be sure that we can go in the best way to speak about circularity.
Yeah, that's a great point. You have me wondering if we need a new term instead of end user and what that might be.
In a circular reality, we don't have end user. We are in a new model, or each of us, we are responsible. When we are responsible, we are not the end of the story. With the product that we have, with the manner that we buy this product, and the specification that we ask, we have the responsibility to have another impact. It's why in the circularity dynamic, each of us the customers, the suppliers. We are asked to be more responsible in front of the Sustainable Development Goals, to reduce the manner to consume raw materials, and circularity is one of the answers.
That's a strong observation. The signals you're noticing, whether from policy shifts or from the market, shows that this isn't just theoretical direction. It's already influencing the way organizations make choices. Those early signs tend to be the best predictors of where the curve is bending.
So, from your respective roles, which innovation will accelerate circularity the fastest?
Yes, so coming from an industrial automation perspective, we really need to start first at the beginning of the offer lifecycle itself. So that means ensuring that the products themselves are designed with circularity in mind from day one. So that means designing products that can be easily serviced, repaired, refurbished as easily as possible. But beyond that, especially on the service side in particular, I think that the biggest accelerator of circularity should be doing the simple things extremely well. We need to deliver on the promises we make in order to make life easy for our customers. If repair, exchange, refurbishment is smooth, predictable, is integrated right into a customer's normal service journey, then the circularity is going to grow naturally. Customers don't necessarily need a futuristic, very disruptive innovation. What they really need is a process that works end to end without friction. So it's our duty, especially in the service business, to offer a service ecosystem in which circular options are going to be a very natural choice. They should be easy to understand. They should be simple to select. And they should quickly provide real value for the customers. And within that, I think that communication is going to play a huge role in that transition, as it does in any transition. We have customers all along the journey today, but some of them still imagine circularity as something that's too complex or something that's eco-only, shall we say. If we can show them that circularity can be the simplest, the fastest, the most reliable option for them, then we should expect that adoption is going to increase very quickly for a whole different set of reasons than we initially started out with.
Yes, when it comes to the question of innovation and acceleration for circularity, I would like to precise 3 points. The first, I agree with you, Sébastien, it's a question of simplicity. The most complex a solution is, the less recyclable it becomes. We need to be very precise to understand that innovation must help to recycle in the best manner and to use easily to easy repair and so on. Simplicity is the first topic. Point number 2, innovation and education always move forward together. When we would like to accelerate circular economy, we have to share with everybody, because we are all actors, the different stakes that we need to tackle in order to prepare the future. Innovation, it's key. Awareness too, education for that is something that we have to reinforce with innovative manner in order to express to each customer, each citizen, how for the 41st century, the question of carbon is the key question of the century, the question of biodiversity, and close the question to biodiversity, the scarcity of raw materials, which is a big program for the coming years, the question of development, and in the same time, the fragmentation of the world, the pressures that we have on the climate, biodiversity, territory. All these topics express how we have to be together to reinforce circularity and to go ahead. The third point is about regulation. We need regulation about this topic to educate people, to accelerate process, especially for those who will prefer to wait. But for companies like Schneider Electric, we have the responsibility to go further. We have the responsibility to stay ahead the regulation in order to prepare the next regulation. It's why I think to accelerate, we have to add this 3 reality, simplicity in innovation to make circular economy easier, education to embark everybody to understand how this new manner to organize business model, to design product is key for the next decades, and a regulation in order to be sure that everybody are in the same line. With this reward, certainly we can accelerate circularity.
What resonates in what you said is the idea that acceleration happens when different innovations stack, not when a single breakthrough appears.
And your point about feasibility is spot on. Innovation really matters when it makes something previously complex suddenly simple, or something expensive suddenly scalable. That's when you stop seeing pilots and starting seeing adoption.
Do you see circular models eventually overtaking linear ones in your domains, or will they coexist from the long-term perspective?
Thanks, Karen. Good question. I think there's no doubt for me, circular and linear models are going to continue to coexist for a long time. But circular will continue to gain relevance and speed, and especially in industrial environments where uptime is crucial and downtime is so costly. The reason we know that circular models are going to continue to grow is because they have to. The scarcity of raw materials, the other mega trends that Gilles described earlier. Industries have seen challenges like these before, and they've always adapted to these challenges. And we know that they're going to rise to the challenge and adapt to this one as well, because they have no choice. So what do our customers want? They want stability. They want a lower operational risk. They really want one less thing to worry about at the end of the day. And circular solutions can naturally support them in doing that. So no, these linear models are not going to disappear overnight. They probably won't fully disappear ever, but they won't continue to dominate in the way that they do today. We need to understand that customers want options. They want the ability to choose what's best for them, not for us, but what's best for them, based on a variety of factors, on cost, but also on life cycle outcomes, on risk, etc. So that shift, as things continue to evolve, for sure is going to create more and more space for circularity and circular solutions.
Yes, of course, sure, we will have for a long time different business model, and the fact that we have to continue linear economy and circular economy, especially because about all the business, we don't have the same manner to implement circularity. We have all in mind what's happened with the bicycle. In all the city now, we have bicycle and not in the same manner that in the past. We want bicycle when we need, where we are, where we would like to go. And circularity, it's close in this case for economy of functionality. First topic. Second topic, very often we have to go from economy of ownership to economy of usage. It's a question of generation too, and we have to build something with certainly a lot of overlap, but just we have to know that circularity is not a new manner to sell product with the old manner that we had in the past. We can do that during one time, but for the future, in a company like Schneider Electric, like in many other companies, we have to be very, very innovative in terms of business model. We can see that it's easier to be innovative about products, to use a very famous 3R about circularity, but sure, to accelerate circularity, at the end, it's a question of business model. We have to continue to think about that. We have to continue to be ahead of our competition to push circularity, because I agree with Sébastien, with the scarcity of raw material, with the other manner to live, with the other manner to consume, especially for the new generation. And the new generation will be leaders of companies in the future. We need to be very close to this new idea and to have attractive business model. It's a very good challenge, but very interesting because it's an opportunity too.
Yeah, I think you make a very good point on the generational divide also, because we talk about this transition and what's changing, but there are many employees and companies for which this is quite a shift, but there are also many employees and companies that are a little bit newer, shall we say, for whom this is a natural mandate and who understand of it, have this in mind from day one. So I think it's very important for us to keep in mind we're meeting people where they are all along the spectrum, and whatever generation and mindset they're coming from.
What we see is that it's easy to fall into the one will replace the other narrative, but what you described feels much closer to reality. So, Some value chains are ready to circular models to dominate. Others will transition gradually, and it's a portfolio full of evolutions, not a single tipping point.
Across the world, which markets or customer segments do you believe will drive the next wave of circular adoption and why?
Japan is often seen as an historical leader of circularity. Because Japan began shaping circular policies in the 19th, and they have a very good and strong vision of how to reduce, reuse, recycle, and that brings extremely consciousness with a big cement this reality in order to have a complete new system. After Japan, then comes Europe. From long time with some pieces, but just in 2020s we have a new European regulation, the Circular Economy Action Plans that we have to implement in all the country in the national strategy in order to have more or less something efficient and close in all the European country. And we can mention that in this country, few countries stand out even more. We can mention Netherlands with a bold ambition, Denmark and some other country. I would like to say something about Africa, because Africa is certainly far from this discussion, but when it comes to the question of circularity, it comes very often the question of economy of usage. And in this country where the people don't have the habit of economy of ownership, they can build differently with startups, a lot of new startups, a new dynamic, something linked to circularity, which could be interesting for all the world and different manner to be active on this topic. But something is very interesting about circularity, because after this world, we have a new world in the coming years, which is regeneration. When we face the challenges that we have in the past, it was more a question of mitigation, efficiency, in order to try to continue the same economy, but we would like to consume less with the same manner. In the day where we are now, we are speaking about sufficiency, adaptation, and commitment, because we can understand that if we have a lot of tools for efficiency, if we don't have commitment on the will to be sufficient, never we will use in the right manner this topic. When comes the topic of circularity, we are in a new step about regeneration. The thing that with this new manner to think, to innovate, to make business, to organize relationship between people, we can go in the decade of regeneration, which is a key element for the future of the planet and the future of humanity. It's why with the best practice that we have in some part of the world, and mention Japan, Europe, some other action everywhere around the world, and a good innovation in Africa about that, certainly we can, with some wake signals, consider that we open the way of regeneration.
Yes, great point, Gilles, and interesting to hear about the regeneration term. I haven't heard that one before in this context. To chime in from an industrial automation perspective, and what I've seen very much echoes what you said in terms of the different markets and regions. And I think it's less about who's in the lead, who's growing faster. It's more about understanding the reasons that we see different approaches in the different regions. So as you mentioned and allude to with a few of those countries, in Europe, regulation is very much at the forefront of the conversation. Customers are pretty mature here. They're used to talking about things like the life cycle, the repairability. We know about product passports becoming mandatory and driven by those regulations. So awareness is high, and we really need to focus on execution and delivery. In North America, for instance, where I am, the discussion is very different. It's much less driven by policy. It's much more driven by uptime, resilience, and customer operational needs, as I was discussing earlier. So if the customer, if a circular solution is going to help them get very tangible results in terms of extending the life or avoiding downtime, that's really what's going to drive adoption. And in Asia, we really see a lot of speed. China in particular, we see so many new industrial sites that come up at very, very rapid speed, a big embrace of digital solutions. So they're much more open to adopting new offerings and new service and business models there right from the start. So circularity is often going to be a natural fit right into their broad ambitions for that efficiency and scale. So for me, it's less about the numbers and the who is where. It's much more about why and what is driving them, so we can understand how to support them in a different way. So it might be regulation over here, efficiency over there, sustainability over here. Each region is going to have their own driver, and each company will as well. So our role here is really to adapt the conversation and the offers to what those realities are and what those needs are for each.
Yes, it's true. And I think about this topic narrative, it's key. You mentioned the word resilience. I don't use this word, but this word is very important too, because when we see what's happened in the front of carbon emission, decarbonization, and only this topic linked to climate, we know that several years ago, we organized a lot of journey to go to net zero emission. And now we are speaking about positive companies. A manner to have another narrative to embark better people, not to be a dreamer and to use very good word in order to increase greenwashing, but just because we need words to have ambition and to have a new dynamic. Innovation is not from nothing to we are in a room and we are able to be innovative. We are innovative because we have a vision and we would like to embark the people in this vision. It's why the question of resilience, the question of regeneration are key in order to understand why we have to change our business model, why we have to change our product, why we have to embark in circularity the economy, because it's a necessity. It's not something that we would like to discuss together because we have time of coffee and we would like to speak about circularity, because it's a big need for the coming years. If we don't organize circularity in the economy in the coming years, we will have a collapse. If we don't organize circularity in the vision that we have to prepare the future, everywhere around the world, we will contribute to the lot of fragmentation, disorganization, and we don't need that. But just with this word, we transfer in the reality of the business what is necessary when we discuss in the big worldwide conference, the COP of the climate, the COP of biodiversity, the COP for development. It's our answer to be active and to be optimistic.
That's a fascinating comparison between the regions you mentioned. It's underscore how different forces, regulations, customer pressures, resource constraints can all lead to the same outcomes. It's different roadmaps converging into circularity.
Given your perspectives, what role should Schneider play in shaping the next chapter of global circularity? Where must we lead and where must we enable?
It's very interesting, this question now in this time, because when we are in Schneider Electric, we often say, with pride and sometimes with responsibility, we are the most sustainable company around the world. And what it's not the first time, but it's the second time, and we are the unique company to have the chance to be nominated the most sustainable company. It's very interesting, and it's good to have that. It's because we have a lot of effort. We have the Schneider Sustainability Impact, a lot of things in environment, social, governance, in order to progress everywhere around the world and to have a clear goals, measurement each quarter in order to be in the topic which are linked to sustainability, responsibility, impact, and circularity is one of these topics, first thing. But when we are in this position, we have a responsibility. We are not here to wait the regulation and to say, okay, when we will have a regulation, we will do the thing. We are here. It's an opportunity for us to to be ahead the regulation in two different things. When we are speaking about sustainability in Schneider Electric, we have always two answers. The first answer is to be a good company, to make everything that we can do to reduce our footprint and to be very responsible. During the last 5 years, and it's linked to circularity, we reduce the plastics that we use in packaging in Schneider Electric. We organize a new eco-design of some of our products. We build some new business model about circularity in some regions around the world, which is very good element, the foundation of the next progress plant. But the second thing, which is very important for Schneider Electric, is to transform such type of concept, model, reality in a business. I have an example. We are partner of Veolia and Suez. These two companies are companies for water and for waste. And now these two companies, in the purpose that they have, they consider that for tomorrow, there will be two companies to put on the market new raw materials, decarbonized raw materials from the waste. And to do that, they need innovation and they need automation. Never it's possible to organize this economy without automation. We are a partner for a long time with this company and we contribute for that. It's another manner to be active in circular economy. The first manner is to be a good player for ourselves, to change our way and our manner to produce, our manner to transfer, our manner to have a business model with our clients. But second thing, we have to be innovative with the company which are very involved in circularity, which is very interesting for our innovation to think differently with this partner. Never we can think differently alone. We have a new approach, a new manner to innovate, new solutions, because that answer to express or unexpressed needs of our clients. In another manner for Schneider Electric to be active on this topic, and you understand it's a good opportunity for us to continue to progress and to be the leaders that we would like to continue to be in terms of responsibility, but in terms of solutions too. It's why, sure, circularity is something which is very important for us and an opportunity for the future of Schneider Electric, because when we are a energy tech partner for our clients, certainly this topic, it's a key topic for the coming years.
Yeah, you make great points, and especially on how, we've had a transformation both internally with all of our products, packaging, processes, facilities, before at the same time as we engage on that journey with customers. So, Schneider Electric, our main role as I see it is to make it easy for our customers to accelerate on their path to circularity, regardless of where they are today. We're not here to dictate anything to them. We're here to show them how to integrate the circularity into their asset management in whatever way makes the most sense for them today. So I'm committed to ensuring that we provide those offers, those services in industrial automation. We're a very unique company in this space for many reasons that Gilles mentioned. Yes, we know we've received the most sustainable company in the world rating multiple times now. As the energy technology partner, there's a reason we want to help electrify, automate, digitalize every industry. And that reason is to help drive efficiency and sustainability for them. So as a leader in this space, other businesses look at us a little bit differently and rely on us to provide leadership, and we have that responsibility. So across the portfolio, we're here to simplify the complexity. We're here to enable smarter, more efficient operations wherever we can. So what we really need to do is lead with our strengths and directly improve the customer experience. We need to deliver the service quality, the life cycle performance, and the digital visibility that's going to give the customers the confidence in choosing the circular options that make sense for them today. And they may have some needs today while they plan the needs of 2 years from now of 2030. But circularity also, we need to keep in mind, is going to depend on factors that are out of our control. Regulation is going to continue to evolve. Supply chain constraints change daily, if not hourly. Some of this is out of our control, but it requires an ecosystem approach. We can't solve every problem, and no single company can. We just need to do our best to be flexible and lead where we have knowledge, where we have capabilities to help bring clear value to our customers and be their partner along on that journey. We may not be able to solve every problem, but we have a lot of experience to be able to make recommendations and solve many of those challenges when we partner up with them.
Yes, I agree with that. And just, it's not possible to conclude this discussion without some words about the program that we have for the 5 next year. Olivier Boum published with Esther, our Chief Sustainability Officer, the program for the next 5 years, Schneider Sustainability 2030, with 4 pillars. We electrify the world, we unlock potential, human potential, we empower local community, and we reinvent in industry. In this pillar, we have 18 KPIs. One of these KPIs is 100% of major offer in design demonstrate circularity and environmental excellence. It's one of the key topics in our program for the 5 next year. Another KPI is to train people internally and externally in order to embark our value chain in the manner that we see how sustainability is key in our product and solution. You can see we are not here only to speak about something that we implement with some experimentation. We would like to be sure that in 5 years, 100% of our offer is linked to circularity and environment, which is a very good commitment to prepare the future.
Yeah, I think you're right. And all of our initiatives are very impressive. And you spoke earlier on the need for commitment. I think one reason why companies look at us in this way, and even you mentioned bringing in employees and the such, one reason we have a pretty easy job in bringing in new recruits, or one of the things they tell us they like, is our commitment to everything that is recycle. Imagine 2030, all the circular initiatives that we have. There is no doubt that we are committed and we hold ourselves accountable in a very transparent manner to the market. That's not to say that we're perfect. We are on this journey just like anybody else is. But I think really from the top of the company all the way down, it's really a part of our DNA and our company narrative to try to do our best to do what is reasonably achievable.
What you said actually captures the dual responsibility. So leading where we have the expertise and enabling where the ecosystem needs space to grow. It's a subtle balance, shaping the path without trying to own the whole journey.
And the way you frame partnership was especially insightful. The next step won't be about one player setting the piece. It's going to rely on alignment across regulations, industries, and technologies providers. What you are describing feels like the shift from isolated initiatives to a genuine collaborative architecture.
Sebastian, Gilles, thank you both for helping us look ahead and understand what's coming next. Your perspectives really brought depth into this conversation.
Yes, thank you, Karen. Circularity is a topic for all the departments at Schneider Electric in order to move forward and to change the future of our company and contribute to sustainability. Thank you, Sebastian, for this discussion. See you after.
Thank you, Gilles. Thank you, Karen and Pau, for hosting us. And I raise my coffee cup to you all today. Really enjoyed the discussion. And if I want to leave you with one thought, it's really that, just like Gilles mentioned a number of times, it's a shift from a linear mindset to a circular one. The journey to circularity itself is not a linear one. So it's one that we are all on, in which we are going to iterate and continue to get better. But we're just very excited to be along on this journey and to have an impact on the world. So thanks, everybody. I really enjoyed the discussion today.
And to everyone listening, this was the Circular Coffee Club podcast. Thank you for joining us along the journey. Hope you enjoy it.